Hello, hello.
Good morning from Vietnam, everybody. You guys know I am Joshua from Vietnam, and I am here
And I'm
with
Shash.
Sash. So I want
Shash.
you guys to go ahead and fill your cup with whatever bitter brew you're drinking because we have a lot to talk about today. I think first
Yes,
we're
we
going to
do.
be handing it over to Shash, and he has got more than one thing to talk about. Right before we went live, Shash, you were telling me about the current events going on with Hunter Biden. I haven't read much about that, just seen some headlines. So why don't you tell us what's going on with old Hunter?
So basically, this past weekend, his emails and text messages got leaked to the public, right?
Do you know the source of the
And
leak? Like, was it a hack like WikiLeaks back in the day, or did someone steal his laptop?
um,
Where'd they come from?
no, what had happened was that he sent his laptop to a repair shop,
Nice.
and he stiffed them on the bill.
Hunter Biden, the guy who gets millions of dollars from the Russian Moscow mayor's wife, stiffing a IT repair company on the bill for his laptop.
Yep,
That's just dumb.
and like the laptop repair people, now that since uh, Biden stiffed them, they are now legally in possession of that laptop, so they can do what they want with it.
Well, my goodness. So that means they're
Yeah,
not even violating the law by releasing his personal
nope.
files.
I'm not sure about that part, but like the computer shop accessing the emails and shit, that's the that was perfectly fair game.
Well, it's actually. I mean, I've done enough computer repair. My college degree actually is in IT and computer networking. So through college, I was just a virus removal guy, and it's almost impossible to get that level in a computer and not see those files. Like even if you're not looking for it, you're
Yeah,
very intimately involved with the system. So
yeah.
what are the damning things that have come up? Do you have a headline you want me to pull up, or you want to rattle it off from memory?
Let me rattle it off from memory. It basically implicates him in a human trafficking, and also what is it, fuck, oh, he sent his daughter a text message saying that, unlike Joe Biden, he won't take half of her money.
So the implication there is that Joe Biden, all those sweet payouts he got Hunter, Joe Biden wanted half, Eddie.
Yeah, something like that. Something like that.
Oh my
And
goodness.
yeah, and if you remember 4 years ago, the same thing occurred with John Podesta.
I do actually. That is the main portion of what I want to talk about today. Is what happened 4 years ago. I know you wanted to talk a little bit about the beer virus as well and how it's changed our outlook on 2020. Which one do you want to jump into first?
Let's continue with the Podesta shit.
All right, so then let me switch here over to the point that I was going to make, which has changed in the past 30 minutes. So, my point originally was that this election seems to be very different than last election. And what I was going through on this is you guys can see right here, I actually have an archive from Drudge up. This isn't Drudge. This is specifically an archive from the 24th of October. And to give you an idea of why I'm in the 24th of October, we are,
This
what,
is
15 days?
2016.
Yes,
This
2016 is
is
the archive I'm pulling up. So
okay.
we're 15 days for the election. This is 2020 right now. Let's find
Oh Jesus!
November.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
15 days. Fuck.
We
God damn
are
it.
we are 15 days from the election. So if you look at that in
Hey,
2000.
speaking of which, guys, remember we're gonna be streaming on November 3rd in the U.S. time, but it'll be November 4th in Vietnam time.
Yep, and we'll be starting. The latest we'll be up and running is 10 p.m. Eastern Central. That'll be the latest, and we're gonna go till the election's called. I want to kind of get it at 9. Maybe Sash won't be able to join me yet, and maybe I'll be doing it from my phone because the restaurant won't be open. But we'll talk to the owner.
Yeah,
Maybe they'll let us sit down a bit early.
yeah,
The very
yeah.
first polls close at 6 in the morning. That would be Kentucky and Indiana. If you look at the bottom of the screen, the countdown that I have, Doomsday in 370 hours and 18 minutes. That is to,
Damn.
I know, that is to the very first polls that will close in the United States on November 3rd. That's what that's counting down towards. So the reason why we're going to start looking at the 24th of October is because that is 15 days from the election in 2016. The election in 2016 was held on the 8th of November, where we've got it on the 3rd of November today. So my point was supposed to be about how different this was from last time. And I was showing you that Trump is up despite everything that we heard, which of course is my memory that everyone said 99% Hillary's going to win. But the reality of it is Drudge kind of already had it called directly. And I was listening to a streamer while I was preparing for this stream, and they just said that Trump's pulling ahead on some of the polls, and I haven't found him yet. But this guy's usually pretty astute, so I do believe him right off the bat. And then let's look over here. What were you talking about?
Podesta emails. Wait, no, is that the emails or what?
Yeah, that's the Podesta emails exposes Dem playbook for rigging through oversamples. So that wasn't the big emails yet, but if we just walk down
Oh
our
no,
timeline,
that's the one that started it.
Yep.
That's the one that started it. Yeah.
So
it's like that's when the Pizzagate became a thing.
2000. Yeah, we're 2016. So I don't know if I knew about Comet Ping Pong, but I definitely knew about some shenanigans going on. But I was a member of 4chan far younger age than I ever should have been. So what I've got queued up here, Sash, is all the Drudge headlines from today, so to speak, but in 2016, all the way up into the election. So we can walk them down, and I wanted to talk basically about how they were comparing. So first, we'll just look at probably main lines. Take a look at these articles, and then I want to jump into what you wanted to talk about, the beer virus, because I don't want to run out of time. And when it comes to politics, I can ramble forever. And then we'll circle back around to this if time allows. So we've got shock polls all tied up. And then what comes next? We've got Kane plays the 30 in Florida. That must be Herman Cain. And
no, that's Tim Kaine.
Oh, right, the vice president. Oh, right.
Yeah.
Of course. Cain, yeah. Of course. I was thinking that it would be
Herman Cain.
Yeah, Herman Cain on behalf of Donald Trump. But yeah, that makes way more sense. Tim Kaine, I totally forgot he was a person because how insignificant he was.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So we're already seeing that. I haven't seen anything specifically about Kamala Harris, but I'm sure you guys have all seen the videos of Joe Biden performing to literal nobody, right?
Yeah.
And then what do we have coming up next here? Yeah, you were right on the money. Wow, Tim Kaine holds rally and only 30 people show up. So then after that, we're now 13 days from the election, and we see this pop up. This Trump pops up in Florida. Now he's up in Ohio, and he's up in PA. Let me mute my phones. Actually, that's my father texting me about Hunter Biden. So,
hey.
Yeah, we're all on sync right here. So Obama busted. Wiki shows that the president lied to the nation. You and I were talking about the fact that Matt Drudge may always have been CIA, but we were remembering accurately last week that they're way more friendly on the president. Look at this. Her instincts can be terrible. They're talking about Clinton world. Her instincts can be terrible. So they're quoting people that are leaking things about her.
Okay.
DOJ employees give 90% of their donations to Hillary. So, I mean, that's just showing the corruption from the deep state. Let's move forward another day.
Jesus Christ. 90%.
97% is what it said. And
Fuck.
so there they are with 300 hours left. Let's go and see what this article was back in the day. It looks like it's UK. It's not over yet. Look at everyone trying to block my ad blocker. Get out of here, guys. Just can't stand it. I don't watch ads no matter what.
Yeah. Same
So
here.
Paul Ryan, they correctly predicted he's in danger. Didn't he end up stepping down, or did he just not run again? What happened to him?
Basically, when the midterms occurred 2 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
they Paul stepped down. He
Yeah,
didn't run for re-election.
that fits my memory just right, actually. So
Yeah.
he stepped down to avoid what was probably a humiliating loss. So I sent my dad the link so that he can jump in the chat and contribute a little bit more than just sending me messages privately.
Yeah.
So he said Trump weighed in on Hunter's emails on Twitter Sunday and gave his Democratic rival a new nickname, 10% Joe. Do you know what that 10%'s about? Is that how much Joe is taken from Hunter?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that 10%. But yeah, it's like same thing 4 years ago at this time. The Podesta emails get leaked, then and then like 2 days, I think, no, it was, yeah, a week before the election 4 years ago, James Comey said they're launching the investigation into
Right. We
Hunter's
should
mails.
we should see that if we keep going. I think that that the 300 hours is just saying it's not over yet. Donald Trump will win, says top forecaster. We haven't seen that come out yet. Still, everything I'm reading says Biden, Biden, Biden. But here we are, October 26th, an article written by Jonathan Owen for the for inews.co.uk does say that Donald Trump is going to win it, and now we know with our hindsight that that was right on the money. So
Yeah.
let's keep
Oh
going.
yeah.
8 points vanish in 4 days. You're right. This was the start of Podesta's email. There's no other way Trump would have been closing the gap like that. And
Well, no. The other thing was the whole James Comey thing. That's what really sealed the deal.
yeah, we'll see the Comey. We'll see the Comey in a second. So Dave just jumped in the chat, my old man. Trump weighed in on Hunter's emails, giving him the nickname 10% Joe. Is 10% what Joe is taking from Hunter Biden? Is that why he got that nickname from the Twitter? All right, so now we are on the 28th of October. This is the Drudge headlines from the 28th of October. Let's move forward to the 29th.
Yeah.
And now it's starting to get a little bit more serious. Oh, sorry, let me pull up the screen share so you can see it easier. Now it's starting to get a little bit more serious. The campaign rocked by the FBI. This is what you were talking about. This has had to be when Comey either this is the predecessor to Comey reopening the trial, or this is
No, it was Comey himself.
Oh, right, but maybe this 10,000 emails of Huma's hiding was the reason he did it. Let's take a look at that next day. Divorce?
Anthony Weiner.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Interesting. So Clinton cheered at the 11 hour indictment that doomed Bush re-election. Trump seizes the moment. So I don't actually see Comey's name just yet. And we are at the 30th, so we're 9 days before the election right now. 9 days before the election. Hey, Dan, how you doing? We're mostly talking about politics today. We are going over the Drudge Report from the previous year and comparing how they are today. So let's look at Halloween on 2016. That would be 8 days before the election. and
Damn.
Trump's jumping to +4. So that means that I was a little bit wrong in my memory. That means Trump closed all this gap time just in the last 14 days. Um,
Yeah, he did.
were you in the U.S. during this time, Shash, or were you already in
Yes,
Vietnam? That's what I
yes, I
thought.
was.
What was the attitude
I was.
like as you were walking around on the streets?
So I went to school in Denver
Right.
during that time, and for the most part, people avoided talking about politics. Then the day after Trump won, the social justice warrior and this Trump supporter in my meteorology class got into a fist fight.
Oh
It
wow.
was the funniest thing. It was the funniest thing.
Oh wow, that's crazy. But before the election, during this time, everyone on your campus was mum's the word. Nobody was talking.
Yeah, people did not want to talk.
And so here's, I guess, where that Russian lawsuit comes in. The longest week.
Well,
Where
no, sorry, but the one thing that people were starting to believe was that Trump's going to win, but no one wanted to really verbalize it.
Oh, but they were already feeling it. Okay, so
Yeah,
watching
yeah.
watching the news anchors on election night made me think that no one in America was realizing it yet. Remember, I was in Vietnam and had been for a few years already, so I was really
Okay,
disconnected to the average American.
okay, okay. Fair, fair.
So this is 7 days before the election, the year before, and it's crazy how little their talking points have even changed. Donald and the Russians, Donald and the taxes, and then that poll shows the Trump jump, and this is 7 days before the election. This is absolutely insane.
Yeah.
How
Do you
similar this
think?
is. Five separate
Do you
FBI
think we're gonna see the
cases.
same? Do you think we're gonna see the same this year?
It looks like it. I've heard that Trump is up on some polls. So if you want to do some googling real quick, see if we can find that. See if we can see the polls that are rising. But
Okay.
I
Let
mean,
me type in polls after Biden leaks.
yeah. See if that's changed. When did the Hunter Biden stuff get released? My weekend was almost pure work. I barely got some
It
time
was,
free.
I think, on Thursday or Friday.
Oh, that's a long time ago. I'm farther behind than I thought. Drudge isn't pushing him though, which is surprising. Like Matt Drudge really has it out for Trump this time, which is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Oh man, and it just gets worse and worse and worse. Here we go. This is November 2nd, so this is 6 days before the election. Podesta plan of justice, humid down. FBI spooks. Government insiders are helping Assange, and then Trump jumps to the 6 point lead. That's insane. I did not realize he closed the gap this publicly.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me find that Hunter Biden article on the New York Post because
Okay.
that's the one who originally leaked it.
Do you think it would be on the current Drudge Report today? Should I pull that up?
Probably not. The media was really, yeah.
Well, I did see that people were getting Twitter banned for it. So let's see. We've got New York Post published Hunter Biden
It's
report
what,
amid
okay.
newsroom doubts. Oh,
Or
that's
this might have,
referencing the report.
yeah. Okay. Okay, okay, so let's see. Let's see.
It was New York Times that released it. It looks like. Is that right?
No, no, it was the New York Post.
Oh, really? That's surprising. They're
Yeah.
usually not very friendly to
And
Trump at all.
fucking who was it? Who was it? Like it was a bunch of leaks. Like it was
But all that source was is the same group of guys who were using or sorry, we're trying to fix Hunter Biden's laptop.
something like that.
How very
Like they came out with multiple articles.
So do you think? I mean, with how similar this is, like a laptop in the wrong hands, everything gets leaked, and then Trump pulls ahead. Do you think this is real? Like this is the same script as 4 years ago. This has to be fake, right?
Yeah.
It really is blowing my mind as we're going through this. For me and the people
Maybe
around me, the election and Trump's win was like a Super Bowl win celebration, Dan says. So, what about the days before, Dan? Did it feel like, were you expecting it? Was it like if the Redskins won the Super Bowl, or was it like if you were a Patriots fan and they won the Super Bowl? Oh, I'm going to get banned. I said Redskins.
oh yeah.
Yeah, I remember being in absolute disbelief in Vietnam. Like
When Trump won?
yeah, like I guess I had the same outlook that I have today, where if it was a fair election, I would assume Trump would win. But I never thought it was the fair election. So
Alright.
then there's the argument.
Here.
Go ahead.
Let me let me share my screen with you to show you the articles.
Okay, I'm gonna have to make a new template real quick to get that up. But go
Okay.
ahead and share the screen on Zoom.
It says the host disabled it.
All right, give me 1 second. I will figure out.
And then the Twitter tried to cover up the post story by uh locking the account down.
That I did see, and I have a few friends that are banned right
And I'm
now.
so surprised because it's the New York Post. They're one of the biggest papers in the country, and they just got
Can
fucking
you
censored like that.
can you shoot me the link in Zoom? I don't
You
know how to enable you. Um,
sure?
I don't know how to enable you for that for some reason.
All right, sure.
I am
Here you go.
I'm Zoom retarded.
That's fine.
I figured out how to
Okay,
get
there.
you back though.
There.
Yeah, so Dan says we felt like the underdog. We thought Hillary would steal it. Rudy tells Lou Dobbs he gave all the info on Ukraine to the Department of Justice 2 years ago, and they did nothing. But it's supposed to be Trump's man in the Department of Justice, right? This is what really makes me.
When was this?
When did Rudy tell Lou Dobbs? I don't know, but Rudy's been on the TV a lot.
When did Giuliani tell the feds?
It says that he did it 2 years ago, and they did nothing, is what my dad just posted in the live chat. Interestingly enough.
Okay, so at that point, it would have been Trump's White House.
Yes, it would have been Trump's
Yeah.
White House. That's exactly right. All right, so we are going to just make a quick modification to the streaming software, and I should be able to get the article without our faces up rather easily.
Okay.
And just wait with us for 1 second, guys. And we should have this up in only a moment. There we go.
The weather has been really nice as of late. It hasn't rained, but it's not super hot.
Yeah, we've got that overcast. We've been in the midst of some serious storms here in Vietnam. The entire mid of Vietnam is flooded like nobody's business. So
fucking raining 24/7. Fuck.
An email thread that appears to show Hunter Biden pursuing a lucrative energy business deal in China and possibly cutting his father in on the action has been verified as authentic by one of its recipients. Fox News reported. So it's the New York Post writing on Fox News, and you're right, this is 16, so that's 3 days ago? Yeah, it's the 19th today. So 4 days ago for our time.
Wow. Yeah.
The big guy was a reference to Joe Biden, Fox revealed, citing unnamed sources.
10%.
The deal also
10%.
listed 10 Jim and 10 held by H for the big guy. The email outlined a provisional agreement under which 80% of the equity or shares in the new company would split equally among 4 people whose initials correspond to the sender and 3 recipients, with H apparently referencing Hunter Biden. This is the exact same script.
Yeah.
It really is. It's not different in any stretch of the imagination. It's exactly the same as what went down before.
No,
Yeah.
but what you see now is that nobody cares. You see, back in 2016, when the Podesta emails got leaked, people cared about that. Nobody cares about this Biden story, man.
Well, let me put that in perspective because I felt like here in Vietnam that nobody cared about the Podesta story either. It's one of the reasons I was surprised at the Trump victory. So maybe you're feeling a disconnect because you're here in Vietnam. I'd like to ask Dan in our
Okay,
chat,
fair
who's,
enough.
who's living in the
Fair
U.S.
enough.
still,
Fair enough.
what he thinks. Does he think people are going to take notice of this? Dan's also commenting that Trump was like Rocky Balboa. Like that's how I felt in 2016. I legitimately did. And
For
look
me,
at
he felt more like Stone Cold Steve Austin. Yeah.
look at the headlines 4 days before the election. How crazy is this? Wiki Wiccan. Podesta practices occult magic. FBI agents see Antichrist. Um, Assange, Clinton, ISIS funded by same money. Terror threat warning. 94 million not in the labor force. Like we're gonna
And
see. Go ahead.
Scalia as well. Scalia.
Justice
Antonin Scalia.
Scalia. He
Yeah.
he
So
died.
basically,
He died months before this, though, right?
he died in 2015, but in the emails, there was movie script that was sent to John Podesta,
Okay.
and it matched the way that Scalia got killed.
Oh, I see. So
Yeah,
there were things coming
basically,
out. There were
yeah,
things coming out basically that
yeah.
were saying that these guys were involved in Scalia's death, basically.
Yeah, basically the entire thing was that Clinton was going to put Loretta Lynch on the Supreme Court if
Ha!
she didn't pursue charges.
Oh my! I don't even remember that leak.
It was it was the tarmac meeting with Bill Clinton.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Ah, gotcha. That's right. I do remember that now. They made a big deal of that for a long time. Somehow,
Oh
I
yeah.
don't think I don't think anyone's made deals with Amy Barrett. All right,
Yeah.
so we're at 11:05. We're at 3 days before the election, and the Drudge Report just
Colorado tied. Yeah.
yeah, everything just goes tied. And Colorado is traditionally blue. Is that right, Sash?
Um, traditionally blue, but in reality, we're more centrist libertarian. So
Well,
yeah,
Denver's a pretty big
people.
part of Colorado, right? There's a lot more people that live in the cities than the rural area. Is that accurate?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, so we tend to be more blue, but
Right.
you could, yeah. So people, if they lean to the right, they generally avoid talking politics,
Yeah, I
especially
think
if you're in Denver or Colorado Springs. Well, no, not Springs, but if you're in like Denver, Boulder, or Fort Collins, you should probably avoid talking politics with people there.
yeah, I think the whole world feels that way right now. If they're right wing or conservative or Trumpian in any fashion, I think they all feel that.
Yeah.
So they're releasing 4 days before the election that literally everybody's just straight up tied. How interesting. Obama encourages illegals to vote. That one I remember. Promises
I remember that too.
no
I remember.
repercussions.
Uh,
Oh man. ISIS calls for a slaughter of Americans on election day. I'm sure that was fake. Trump surge freak out. More violence against supporters. That was a trend that we've seen carry all the way through our 4 years. And let's see what the headline is.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Trump marathon. I remember political scientists talking about how many shows the man was actually doing in 2016. Like he was jumping from state to state to state to state. Now he's had this corona scare slow him down, but what do you think we're going to see in the next 14 days from Trump?
Basically, so with that Biden story, right?
Mhm.
4 years ago, the fucking Biden story, I mean, the Podesta story, it was making headlines all over social media.
Yeah, this isn't. I've been on Twitter the
No,
past 2 days. They've cleaned it all up.
dude, it's not. I mean, it's not even the censorship. It's, dude, people have become so desensitized to this stuff.
Ah, yeah, we've just had 4 years of hearing that our president is literally the most evil human being on the planet, and then we're like, oh, the other side's evil, and people just don't even
Yeah,
care. You might be right about that. That's a pretty dark picture for us all.
yeah, and then basically like with this whole Biden story, they're trying to blame the Russians, which come on, that's retarded, but
Well, yeah,
it's
they
whatever.
did the same thing back then. So this is interesting. I didn't know this was public. So this is from the day before the election, 11/7/2016, and it's in the morning too. I'd like to add it's 8 a.m. PT,
Yeah,
and Hillary cancels her election night fireworks like that.
maybe she knew she was going to lose.
But then it's rigged, right? I mean, well,
Yeah, of
why would
course.
she cancel it? I mean, this is interesting.
Maybe she made a deal. I mean, you have to realize that this is all theater, man.
Yeah, it really is all theater. But I mean, like it's so amazing looking at the theater from 4 years ago because we're living through it again, and our nature is for us to get sucked into it again and to believe it again. And like, look at this. The
You
coast.
know,
Go ahead.
there's one trade-off that can make me rationalize a Biden presidency.
What do you mean rationalize? Because if you think it's all rigged, like me, like are you 100% that it's rigged, or is there still this back
I
end of you
still
that
believe
hopes
in
it's real?
some semblance. Some
Okay.
semblance. Basically, Biden will be a very boring president.
Biden will be a very boring president. Yeah.
Yes, and that's a good thing.
Why do you think that's a good thing? I think that they're very happy that we're not watching. That we're not watching any of this. I'm getting a low stream error. I'm going to stop the screen share for right now and see if that fixes it up. I think it's a good thing that we are. Hold on, I lost my train of thought. I think that it's by their design that we're watching the news instead of sports, right? Like they went out and they
Yeah, yeah, of
freaking
course.
killed the
They kill
the
sports, man.
NFL. Yeah, they totally killed him. And so if they want a boring president, that'll stop selling. That'll stop selling all the news, won't it?
Exactly, and that's the point.
I see. But then what will we watch if
Basically, it's to return us back to some semblance of sanity.
I don't think they
Not
want that
entirely. I think they do because you're seeing, so with this QAnon movement,
though.
right? You're seeing it implode right now.
You're seeing the QAnon movement implode, or you're seeing people implode because of the QAnon movement.
I'm seeing the movement itself implode. Basically, what they did is that they realized that conspiracy mongering is a massive problem within the United States,
Yeah.
and it's starting to stagnate us a little bit, right? So
But it
what
keeps
they
us
did was,
divided, and that's what they want, right?
Yes, let me explain though,
Okay.
because so so they needed a kill shot, right, to like wheel in all of these conspiracy nut jobs, and then once they realize it's all fake, that none of it is really happening, that they're watching a movie,
Mhm.
that's when I think we'll return to a more centrist state.
I see. I see. And you think they want us to return to a centrist state because the truth is moving out too fast?
Yes, and basically, basically they won't let society get divided to the point where it goes belly up. Like that's, I think they're smarter than that.
Well,
But
with what the points that I made last week on the economy, I think the belly up is coming. I think it's coming regardless. I think that they want more control. They're not happy the way they were. But Dan's making a good point before we get too far off this, because this is the reason I wanted to go through the day by days on this stream with 2 weeks left. Dan says that the days leading up to the election, I recall it seemed like every day in the news was something new. Blow to the left, blow to the right. It felt like a real fight to the finish. We felt very involved. I felt the same way even in Vietnam following all this. And what I've been thinking the past 2 weeks have been very quiet. Minus, I guess, Hunter Biden's release, which now I guess that's pretty serious. I saw that things got released and I saw that Twitter was censoring it, but I didn't deep dive to see exactly what it was. But yeah, I remember every day, like nonstop. And what was so crazy is 2020 has been like that as a whole up until the beginning of October, where it feels like everything stopped.
yeah,
And
so that's actually a good plug to my beer virus thing.
oh, okay. So I
Okay.
think I've got that up. Oh, I thought I had that up. All right, so start talking about it, and I will get this up on the stream real quick.
All right. So basically, I think that that the coronavirus saved mankind.
Okay,
Now,
now give us some.
yes. Okay. Okay. Let me explain this. Okay. So they came out with the social
Distancing.
distancing
Yeah.
campaign, right? I
Yep.
think it's like the entire concept of social distancing. It's not because of a virus. It's more like a mindset thing.
I agree, but I don't
Like
think it's a healthy mindset thing. So keep talking.
basically, what you're seeing is people are getting way too entrenched in an incredibly radical ideologies, and you have social media that's making these echo chambers much worse, right? So what they needed to do was lock down the world for like 6 months, and de-radicalize people just a little bit, because for me, the entire lockdown thing, it gave me a much more of an open mind, and many people, I feel, the same way. Like there was this one girl I was talking to, she's from Minnesota, she went back home now. Basically for her, the whole social distancing thing made her realize that people are very avoidable. That's all this comes to, down to, man. Is that we got clumped in together with people that we did not like, and this what this virus did is that it separated us. You get what I mean?
I think that your theory is that because the virus allowed us to take time off from one another, the hate has started to
Yeah,
come
the hate has
down.
gone down.
and
Yes.
it's let us realize that that we should just avoid people we don't like as opposed to being mad at them.
It's not even that. Like the shift in the workplace from from brick and mortar to home, that I think is very good.
I think that humans are incredibly social beings, and limiting our social interaction is going to cause way more depression than than positive
But wouldn't you
things.
say? But the problem is, I think, is that we're way too overstimulated.
Yeah, I would say that's probably true. Dan's talking about a difference in the people right now going up, leading up to the election, and he's saying that this time around, focus has switched. We're not buying the puppet show anymore. We're watching the silent backdoor take over, praying they don't exterminate us all. And he adds that he's lost faith in politics as well. And I've got to
Of
agree.
course,
Like
yeah.
I feel like I've repented of politics in a way. Like that was everything about it. You saw me waving my Trump hat or wearing my Trump hat every day in 2016, and now I kind of only wear it ironically. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, of course, I'd rather have beers with Donald than with Joe. Like, there's no question about that. But just like just like Dan says, the my faith in politics has been ripped away, and
Of course.
I think you're missing some of the sociological side of it when you talk about the social distancing. But let's go through this article a little bit. This is an article in the World Economic Forum written by a Taiwanese immigrant named Alex Liu. So I'm gonna go through this, and he's basically talking about how the fact in the Chinese lunar calendar there are 12 zodiac signs. You probably know
Wait,
most of them. Like I'm a goat because I'm born in 1991. If you're
I'm a
born
rat.
born me, you're a horse. Yeah, a couple years after me, you're a rat. And then they also have this cycle of elements. So there's fire, there's wood, there's metal, and maybe I have to check the article to remember the other two.
Earth, I think.
Yeah, earth, and then maybe it's air.
Air, air, air. Yeah,
So
and
one
water as well.
one interesting thing to add is Bill Clinton, W. Bush, and Donald Trump are all fire dogs, all born within a month span in 1946. There have been
That's
like,
so insane, man.
oh, I know,
So insane.
I
Fucking
know.
boomers, man. Fucking boomers. I can't stand them. God damn it.
Yeah,
Fucking
I mean, I guess Obama was a Gen X, and he wasn't much better. So he's
I
talking
mean,
about,
he was a very young boomer.
yeah. Oh, that's
Yeah,
true. He's like six.
61.
Hmm. I don't know
Yeah.
where that falls. So on January 25th, people around the world celebrated the Chinese New Year. Just like I said, it was a whole new cycle, right? We went back to the very first animal, and we went back to the very first element. Chinese aren't the only ones that think that the world revolves in cycles of 60 years. Some people think it's 80 years. There are theories about that as well, but we all kind of admit there's a cycle, and pretty much every astronomer now agrees that it's coming to the end. The Indian astronomers are saying that a cycle is going to restart on the 21st of December. That would be the winter solstice for those of us in the northern hemisphere. And as the sun begins to traverse back towards the North Pole in our sky, everything is going to be different from what the astronomers are saying. And that's Indian, that's Chinese. It's the very few astronomers
Of this year or
this year. Yes, the one that's coming.
okay.
Um,
I remember they said that the world was going to end back in 2012 on
2012.
December 31st. Yeah.
Um, was it 31st? I thought it was like
No,
26th or something, or 21st
no,
maybe
it's
even.
the 21st. Yeah.
So where that theory came from, that theory just came from the fact that the Mayan calendar ended on that day. Um, it
Yeah.
wasn't a real doomsday prediction. There have been doomsday predictions about 2020 and 2019 that I know of going back at least 100 years. And
Yeah.
I'm not the black pill at all. I'm not trying to push this. I do agree with Dan that I've lost faith in politics, but I think that our own individual agency has a lot more protection than we're led to believe. And I think that we have more power, even if we don't get to choose our president. So there's a magnitude and mysticism about the number 60 that leads through many cultures, right to the origin of mathematics. Like we know that because of the Babylonians, we use 360 degrees in a circle, and then each degree is broken up into 60 arc minutes, which is broken up into 60 arc seconds. We know that we use 60 for our
Yeah.
own seconds, 60 minutes in an hour. A lot of our time and circles are all based on this Babylonian base 8, which leads into
Okay.
8 times 5 leads into, I'm sorry, that leads into 40. Um, yeah, it's not base
Eight
8.
times five is 40. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's not base 8. It must be base 12. Yeah, the Babylonians must have used a base 12 counting. 360. Yeah, that makes sense because that's 12 times 4. Um, so
12
he's
times 3.
yeah, 12 times 3. Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. I'm not doing
12
math
times
today.
30 is 360. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
12 times
It's
30 is
9 times 4.
360. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Math
9
is
nine
breaking
times
me.
4.
It's 36.
9
Yeah.
Yeah, 9 times 4 is 36.
I don't know
Yeah.
why, but math is failing me right now on the stream. I'm usually pretty
Oh.
good at it. So Dan's saying he sees the world waking up. The rulers have painted themselves into a corner. Now they have thrown the Rona card where they have blanket control to do whatever and whenever they choose. Right. So Dan, here's what Sash and I are going back and forth now on is he thinks it's to quell us, it's to make us more passive, to calm us down, and I think it's the
Yes.
final agitation. I don't think it's calming people down. I think it's going to make people go crazy. But I think we both agree that the world's coming to more truths.
Yeah.
So it's not, and this is why I don't really totally agree with the article. You made your point apart from the article, so I won't devalue your point based on this. But it's not just COVID-19. It seems like all the catastrophes have converged at once. The continuing fear that puts knees onto necks and razor wire between children and their parents.
Jesus.
Like this is
Yeah.
ridiculous. So they're going into the George Floyd thing, pretending that was real, and then they're going into the separation of children at the border, pretending that Bill Clinton didn't start that policy. The persecution of individuals and groups for being the wrong shape, size, color, and gender. Where is the fat people persecution? Because I would like to support that movement. Where's that happening? I like this guy is so woe is me about it all. We do see some racial tension. We see some real racial tension going on in South Africa. We see like an ethnic tension going on between the Taiwanese and the Chinese. We see lots of ethnic tension going on between the Indians and the Muslims that are being pumped into their countries. Like the wonderful, peaceful, everyday Hindus are getting ridiculously angry right now from my friends in India.
Yeah.
Looking at the and it's not your normal Muslims either. Like I have no problem with Muslims. Christians and Muslims get along wonderfully until the Zionists step in. So I'm not about to blame this on that religion, but these Muslims that are invading India right now are making themselves and their entire religion hated by the people of India. And it's not that easy to make a Hindu hate you. Like it's really not that easy. So that's concerning me. We do see some of that. 30 million people who still live in slavery. I wonder what they're talking about there. Are they talking about like the slavery?
Where's that?
Yeah, I don't really know. Are they talking about the slavery
Where's
we see
that?
in Vietnam and China? Just as in the world. Like that's a lot of people. I know
30,
there's literal slaves in Africa. I know that. There's literal, you can buy human beings in Libya and you can take them home and they're your slave. But I don't think there's 30 million. So I feel like this guy's a drama queen. I really do.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
So, more disconcerting is that 60 years ago, the issues weren't so different. The Cold War, which I now think was probably a big, giant psyop. What else does he talk about? He talks about his family moving from Taiwan to the Deep South Like they were really scared of that. I don't know how much that's real. Your family came over much later than the '60s, is that right, Shaz?
Yeah, we came over in 2001. We moved to
Okay.
South to Dakota.
Ah, so your fears were probably more centered around the fact that you look brown and the terrorist attacks just happened.
I mean,
If you look more Asian,
kind of.
oh, just kind of elaborated
Yeah,
on it
like
then.
not basically after that event, definitely people see you much more different,
Hmm.
but I wouldn't say I experienced like full on of it, if you know what I mean.
Was it ever fear, or was it just, well, this is annoying as crap?
It's annoying as shit.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Not somebody was gonna break into your house and hurt you guys because of it.
N- no, not that I was aware of, if you
Hmm.
know what I mean.
Yeah, maybe your
I
parents
was
shielded
only
you from
five.
it. Yeah, maybe your parents shielded you from
Yeah,
some things that
maybe,
they really
maybe.
thought.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, that's interesting. So, should we feel hopeful or saddened of what's been achieved during the past 60 years and what it means for the next 60? Like that's a real question.
Yeah.
Um I don't know. I feel like we're
So
losing
do
our individualism. I feel like well, we just wouldn't know how to eat without supermarkets. Now, that's not true all over the world. Like the
I
Vietnamese are going to be
believe
fine.
that I believe that the concept of individualism has been weaponized to make people feel like they're individuals when they're not.
All right, keep elaborating on that. You feel like individualism has been weaponized because that's that's a
Yeah,
big part of what West is and Western philosophy. So, how do you mean people are
yeah, but
feeling like they're individuals when they're not? What do you mean by that?
okay. You have a lot of these people, these leftists, that think they're doing this for a social justice cause,
Hmm.
and they truly think that what they're doing is based on their individual strengths. But no, like the shit is being supported by corporations, the government,
Ah,
and the banks. It's all a corporate psyop.
oh, I see.
But yet these people still feel like they're individuals. Like what
Yeah,
the fuck?
you're basically talking about the difference between Plato's cave and the Matrix, right? In Plato's cave, everyone knew they were bound, but they still didn't know what was up there. But the Matrix was built so that the human mind would accept it, right? And the human mind thought it was actually real, and the human mind would have all the range of emotions. So, like,
Yeah.
I see what you mean. You're saying that their lie is getting more elaborate, and we're believing it bit by bit by bit. Interesting.
Yeah, it's becoming much more. It's become much more sophisticated. Especially with now we have you know tracking shit and like they know they know what you're thinking now because of the shit you post on
Oh
social
yeah.
media, what website you visit.
Oh yeah.
So they know, so they aggregate that, and it's yeah. Look, here's how
Absolutely.
we can control you,
The
and boom.
specific artificial intelligence is insane now, where what they can predict about
Yeah,
a human being's action based on the websites you visited and the posts you
yeah,
make. And I remember, when did Snowden make his releases? Like 2013, 2012?
yeah. 2013. Yeah. It was my second semester of my sophomore year. I,
Mm.
I, I I remember that vividly. Like that's like people really started panicking because of that.
I was already in the workforce, and as I mentioned at that time, I was working in IT. So I knew that we had, what, 300 different companies that were our customers, and I knew that I saw and recorded everything that they did because I ran backups on our servers, and our servers kept track of everything they did. And I knew that our tapes got stored, and then our tapes got sent off to Iron Mountain. Dan's saying he agrees that a lot of what we're saying, and then he says it's wizardry. I think he's quoting Big Bear Owen Benjamin there. It definitely is. It's wizardry nonstop. That's why we got to keep crushing. So I remember
Wizardry,
looking
what?
wizardry. What he means
Like,
by that is whoever these people are is they're basically casting these spells to keep our focus and our energy on the wrong things or on things that are going to
yes,
hurt
of
us as
course.
opposed
Yeah, of course.
to make
Yeah.
it. And that's one of the goals that we want to do with this podcast. We want to add our voice to the other guys out there that are basically trying to break the wizardry.
Yeah.
We're at an hour now, but let's do another 10 minutes so that we can finish up our stances
Yeah.
here. I don't want to go too long because I really want our podcast to be consumable. And
Yeah. Yeah.
every time I do a live stream, I end up going over 3 hours.
God damn it, dude. That's
Uh,
way too long.
I know, but
Way
actually,
too
this
fucking
this
long.
morning I did it on this channel. Actually, this morning I had two young students reach out to me from the U.S. asking to do a debate analysis with me, and they were really bright kids with some real critical thinking. We were talking about morality, and we were talking about abortion, and we were watching a guy online who's kind of insane. His name is Vosh, and it was really cool listening to them identify when he started to use some wizardry, when he started to be dishonest and spin it, because they're like, I know my students are great at it, but it was really cool hearing these. One guy was 19, and then there was a girl that was sorry, not 19. There was a guy in ninth grade, and then there was a girl who was in eighth grade, and it was so delightful.
Okay.
I couldn't hang up on him and tell him to go. Like, I just did it till they had to go to bed. Um, but it was really really delightful. So let's look at this poll here that is kind of has a lot to do with what you're saying. This
I
is on
can't
that
see your.
website.
I can't see your screen share.
All right, let me throw it back up, even if our YouTube goes a little bit. Oh, I can just pause it then, and then you can see it without me sending the data. So this is, I want the world to change significantly and become more sustainable and equitable rather than returning to how it was before the COVID-19 crisis. And it just seems like the most loaded question in the world to me. Like, when you ask the world's words sustainable and equitable, like, people here, would you rather have more money than you did before? And would you rather, like, I don't know, what pops in your head when you think about sustainability?
Um, to me, I'm big on the environment. Um, the one good thing about these lockdowns is that the pollution levels have gone down.
Yeah, but when you say environment and you say pollution levels, you're talking about like the way Trump put it at the debate, where it's clean water, clean air, things like that, things that we see, not like this magical sea level that's going to rise and wipe us out.
Yeah,
Is
yeah,
that
yeah,
right? Okay.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah, I thought
yeah,
Trump handled that environment question better than any Republican ever has. And they're like, "What do you want to do to protect the environment?" He's like, "I want clean water, I want clean air, and I want beautiful." I forget what he said, something else, but like tangible, seeable. It was great. Dan is commenting that this is a good time for him. Yeah, that's kind of why we wanted to do the Good Morning from Vietnam, because there's so little content coming on early in the morning, and it's really easy for Sash and I to
yeah,
do, um,
yeah.
because we're living here in Vietnam. It is 7:30
Again,
p.m.
guys,
for us.
remember, guys, we will be streaming live on the 4th of November, which is fucking November 3rd for you guys, which in Vietnam time will be 10 in the morning. And
Yeah.
what time is that at home?
So it will be at Eastern time. At that time, it'll be exactly the same. But right now, Dan's an hour behind Eastern time because he's saying it's 7:30 a.m. for him and it's 7:30 p.m. for us. But
Okay.
daylight savings time will do its switch
When is
in
that?
November
When is
1st.
the Oh, Jesus. Okay.
Yeah, so right before the
Oh, no,
election.
we don't celebrate that here.
No, no, it won't affect us. Vietnam
Thank
doesn't do
God.
daylight savings time. It'll only
Thank
affect
God.
our time frame from the U.S. So
That's I
yeah,
fucking hate
it's pretty
daylight
funny.
savings. God damn it. Yeah.
Yeah, so I would agree with what you said on sustainability. I think that is exactly what this poll. That's why I think this poll is kind of dumb, because it's asking, Do you want cleaner environment and more money than before the virus, or do you want the same as you had before? And surprise, everyone all over the world said they wanted more again.
Yeah, of course. Who wouldn't? Fuck.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was exactly my thinking, and I think you made a little bit better argument than the article did. So I'm glad
Yeah.
to hear
Yeah.
you summarize it. I think the article was very much fear mongering, and your main point was everybody gets a moment to breathe and calm down.
Yeah.
And I also think, like what Dan said, where he sees the world waking up, I think that a lot of that could have been because of the beer virus. I never would have started this podcast without the beer virus. I never would have. I never would have had the time to build that giant lecture that I gave on my thoughts about the shape of the earth if it wasn't for the beer virus, right? Like I really got extra time to pour into this. So
Yeah.
there are some good sides to it. Like that's
Yeah.
a reality. So I really appreciate your other outlook there on that, Sash. That's a
Yeah.
cool one, and it is so disturbing to me how close these two are aligned. Next week we've got to look at the past week of Drudge, the real week and the 2016, and see if they're still following through. Because what we just saw is a crazy foreshadowing, and that means we are in for an amazingly boisterous 2 weeks, like Dan said.
Do you think do you think the Supreme Court will step in like they did with Bush v. Gore?
That is the way it's being set up, isn't it? Like her
Yeah.
elections on Halloween, I
Basically,
think,
yeah,
or her vote.
basically
Sorry,
what
not
they're
election.
basically the narrative being passed is that Trump is going to win big on the night of, but then Biden wins 1 week later, and then the courts step in.
Yeah, that would be pretty
If
interesting.
that occurs, that will fucking fracture the nation, dude.
I think so. I think that we would be done with beer
That would
virus talk,
fracture.
and there would be riots
Yeah,
that make the existing riots look very small.
like if you want the right wingers to riot, this would be the way. I mean,
So is that your prediction right now? We're supposed to make predictions on this stream, so let's take our last
okay.
3 minutes and let's. Is that your prediction that Trump's going to win it on the night and a week later?
Uh, do I think it's going to go down like that?
Yeah.
No, I don't think they're that stupid.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because here's the things: some chaos is fine, but not the point where you can't to the point where you can't reverse it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And
Yeah.
I really like what.
So
Yeah,
I
you go.
think, yeah, I think that Trump pulls it out, or yeah, do I think Trump will pull it out?
Yeah, that's what
I'm
I'm
not
asking.
sure.
I
I'm
want you
not
to
sure, man.
give
It's
me your thought on that. Is Trump gonna pull it out?
okay. I don't want him to. I think he's made his mark. Now it's just overkill, if you know what I mean.
You'd rather have Biden in there,
Yes.
and we would see the destruction of everything we know about the American way, even if there'd be less funny tweets.
It's not even that, man. I think the riots will stop if Biden wins.
I think they
So
would too, and then I think our dollar is in for the in for it. My dad's
you
calling
think
that
that?
Trump's going to take it. Yeah, I think with the numbers that I showed last week on the podcast, and I think that the fact that the rest of the world is getting more and more angry with America, I think that their own politicians are going to start to see political pressure to dump the dollar. And I know that if China dumps the dollar as a reserve currency, we will see an inflation like 1940, or sorry, like 19.
17 in Germany.
Yeah, it would have to be
No,
17.
no.
I was just thinking, no, would it be after that? 1925. 1925 in Germany, and then remember it was still 2 years later before the whole thing totally blew up. So we might see like
Yeah,
the dollar go jump by 10, and then we'll see it jump by 1,000 and totally fail into the oblivion, because it's insane how much trust Americans really have in their dollars. So maybe even a full
that is
flooding
true.
won't end it. Um,
Let me ask you this:
yeah, go ahead.
Do you think these mega corporations like Google, Facebook, these fucking military defense tech companies like Raytheon
Mhm.
and Boeing and Lockheed, do you think they would really let that occur?
I think that they are all plants. I think that Zuckerberg's CIA. I think that Gates is someone before CIA. You look at his father's involvement with the government and with eugenics programs. I think Jeff Bezos is probably CIA. I think that Elon Musk is probably CIA. So I think that whoever's pulling the strings and the rest have big tech in their pockets already. I think that real innovative startups in Silicon Valley have either been squashed or purchased, and we've
Yeah,
not seen the best prevail. We have seen the chosen prevail.
yeah, fair, fair.
So I want to
Or
end this
do you
on.
think?
Oh, go ahead.
Let me ask you one more thing.
Yeah, go
Do you
ahead.
think the U.S. military would let that occur?
Now that is one big ol' unknown. See, that's
Because
what the Q guys think, right? The Q guys think that the
yeah,
military is
yeah,
the coup putting us all up to it.
yeah.
So my dad says buckle up. Trump's gonna win. Dan's prediction is Trump. We have to put polls into perspective. 95% of all medium polls come out of New York and LA. That's a really
That
good
is true.
point.
Yes,
That's a
yes,
really
that
good
is a
point.
good point.
And two very blue East cities. So I would say my safe money is on Trump. I don't think there's a chance for Biden. I think there is a chance that it'll go to contention. Nancy Pelosi will get to choose, and Peter Buttigieg will become president. I've been holding on to that prediction since
uh,
March, so I can't give it up. So right before we
or
go, I want to read one last comment from Dan
yeah,
because it's really important. I've even got it thrown up in our bottom left hand screen. He says that good can be made from all things. Go ahead and throw lemons at me, and I'll make the lemonade. And I think
fair enough.
that's a message that I
Nice one,
really
Dan.
want. I really want our podcast to be about. This isn't another black pill. This is
Yeah,
your
we're
individual
just
agency.
two guys talking. Yeah. Now, the way they're pushing a Biden presidency, though, the way they're marketing it, is that he'll have much more competent people running the show.
Right, because
That's the way
Obama
that
had
they're
competent
marketing.
people running. There are no competent people left in the Democratic Party.
Neither in the Republican
No,
either,
that's
man.
why we voted Trump, right? That was why Ted Cruz didn't win, Jeb Bush didn't win, the guacamole salesman John Kasich didn't win. I liked Herman Cain, not gonna lie, but I mean, yeah, you're right. The Trump, or sorry, the Republicans and the Democrats aren't different, and
Not a no.
Biden's been in politics for 47 years and he hasn't found a competent person. So I want to end this before we get to 1 minute or 1 hour 15, or nobody's ever going to watch our stuff. So thank you
Yeah,
guys for
exactly.
tuning in.
Thank you guys.
Dan,
Thank you
I owe
guys.
you an email. I'll get that email out to you tonight.
Yeah.
Sash, we'll talk soon. Have a wonderful night, everybody.
Yeah. All right, guys. Bye bye. See you later. We still live?
Trying to figure out how to end it right when I want to. So I've got it still live. There it is. End.
Oh.